Hi, for today's video, I will be showing you the integration capabilities of Advantco's AWS adapter for AWS SQS. The first step in this process is to open AWS and locate our key management services. Here is where we'll define our customer key, which allows us to encrypt messages with sensitive data when sending them from SAP to AWS. As you can see, I already have one set up right here, and if we go into it, we can see we have our key administrators, if we allow key deletion, as well as our key users. Further, we also have our key ARN, which will come in useful when setting up our iFlow in CPI. After defining our key, the next step is then defining our message queue. Using AWS SQS, we can send, store, and receive messages between software components at any volume without losing any data. The key component to the SQS that we have right here is the URL, because we will use this to connect to our SQS in our iFlow. Following that, we also have other details that we have defined below. However, you can use these to define them to your current situation or scenario. Finally, after creating our customer key and defining our queue for this scenario, we then want to create our iFlow. As you can see, we have a SOAP sender channel and an AWS receiver channel with a simple message mapping in between. The first thing we want to do is go into our receiver channel and our SQS settings. Here is where we'll define our connection. As you can see, we have the queue URL, as I mentioned earlier when defining our queue, as well as our Amazon SQS authentication, where we have defined explicitly with the access key and the secret key. Further, we can add up to 10 message attributes. For this scenario, I'm going to be using customer number and system. And then following that, we then want to open up our advanced settings. Here is where we can enable content compression, which we don't have for this scenario. However, we do have content encryption enabled. Here, we define it as our AWS KMS, and we also define our key ARN, which we created when we defined our customer key in AWS. Further, we also have our KMS credential, which we have defined explicitly here with the access key and secret key. And then further, we have variable substitution. For this scenario, I'll only be subbing the customer number. And then finally, we also have content conversion. For this case, I'll be converting from XML to JSON when sending data from SAP to AWS. As you can see, integrating with AWS SQS is quick and easy using Advantco's AWS adapter.